Hello and welcome back to the motorbike channel of nonsense once more, and oh dear, it's the 1290 Super Duke R, the new Gen 3 version. I say new, is a 2020 bike, it's now 2021. I've never ridden one of these somehow, so I'm very excited to take you along for my first impressions, go for a bit of a blast. Oh dear, it already feels, it already feels naughty. Oh, riding position, you're quite leant forward over the front actually. I like that. Anyway, enough waffle, let's go for a ride, sort my mirrors out and see if it really is a wee beastie. You actually get a lovely view down over the front of this bike. You can see the headlights, see the front wheel, I can see the front tyre sitting down. That's pretty cool. It feels angry already. It feels angry. Oh, it feels very, very on the nose. I wasn't expecting that. In a nice way though. Oh, okay, cool. Right, so let's get the facts and figures out of the way then. I've got the 1301cc V-twin between my legs, 180 horsepower, 140 newton meters. Quick shift up and down, manual suspension, a couple of riding modes, and a whole lot of drunken Austrian aggression. Yeah, I think we're going to get on just famously on this. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling, get the dual carriageway, and we'll talk about its long distance cruising credentials briefly, very briefly. So yeah, the beast then on a dual carriageway isn't such a beast because, well, it's got cruise control for starters, so you can sit up and take your hands off the bars. And I know I've said it's a flat bar bike obviously, but it is actually a reasonably leant forward riding position. I quite like it. It's actually, I mean, it's not a full-on sports bike, but it's not far off the amount of lean you have on a sports bike. Changing gear with the clutch kills the cruise control, unlike on the Super Adventure S that I rode earlier. And yeah, the engine does feel way more aggressive and lumpier than on the Super Adventure S. To the extent in 6th gear at 70 miles an hour, it almost feels like it wants you to shift down a bit, just because you sense it, not struggling, but vibrating beneath your buttocks. But yeah, could I do long distances on this? Yeah, I think actually the riding position helps because you're not fully upright like a sail, you're kind of leant forward a bit. Right, is that enough practical stuff? Yes, mirrors are good as well. They are super stable. Let's go and do some fun roads. Okay, fun roads. Oh, hello. I have to say, this feels amazing leant over. Just feels super grippy and super stable as well. It feels, that front end feels pretty sporty and sports bikey. Right, let's go for it. There we go. Okay, this is pretty batshit. Whoa, f me. Right, so the engine is more like a nuclear bomb than an engine. I'm just in 3rd gear, it's so flexible. Look, going to this corner quite slowly at 50, and it just explodes out up to speeds I can't say. You could ride this bike all day in 3rd gear on a racetrack, let alone the road. It's so tractable. Yeah, it's got a mental top end as well. Yeah, okay, this is yeah, I don't think you would get through many front tyres if you owned one of these. Bloody hell, it is stonkingly fast. Sorry, I think I go for it, it's gone a bit wonky donkey. Yeah, right, collect my thoughts. It's effing fast, that probably is not a surprise, but it's just how usable that engine is. The fact that you can leave it in the third gear and go from basically 30 to more than the national speed limit very, very quickly. And the front, even though your weight is over the front end, giving you an amazing sense of control and confidence in the corners, is still picking it up and smashing the headlight into your face on a completely flat road at 70 miles an hour. Yeah, it's very much a Jekyll and Hyde bike, this. Just because, look, I'm doing 30 in third. It's docile, the fueling isn't lumpy, it's not jerky, it's got cruise control. Yeah, I know if I wind it up, it will just be on one wheel. Yeah, so far, the engine is a standout, but the chassis really isn't that far behind. I think it all really comes down to that riding position. Just gives you so much confidence to attack the corners. Yeah, it likes to shake its head a bit because even when you're not expecting it to, it's trying to lift the front wheel up. The quick shifter and blipper, really quick, really smooth, exactly what you want. Very easy to ride, very easy to ride fast as well. The suspension, not electronic. I'm on a fairly bumpy road and it's compliant, it's working with me. It's not kind of jolting me out of the seat or kicking me offline in the middle of corners. You can tell that this would actually be really good fun on a track day. Just because it wants you to lean it and gas it and ride it hard. It's got a kind of top end rush in third gear. It puts your eyes on stalks and make you suddenly worry about your license and things like that. Yeah, it's a absolutely mighty thing, and it's a lovely package as well. Now that you've got cruise control, now that it does turn and engage you at road legal speeds, it doesn't feel like it's fighting against you. I never rode the old ones, but by all accounts it was fun until you got to a technical bit of road and tried to ride it quickly. Oh dear. You come out of a corner in third gear, accelerate, and it straightens the bars for you because the front wheel kind of skips off the ground. Brakes are good, brakes are very good. They need to be, they need to be. They've actually got loads of feel and they can haul you down properly quick. Everything about this bike, when you're on it, is intense, from the acceleration to the brakes. What a lovely road bike though. It feels like a sports bike for the road more than anything else. It doesn't feel like it's going to rip your face off all the time unless you ask it to. I've not got anti-wheelie off. It's on. Anti-wheelie is on. I can't imagine what it'd be like with anti-wheelie off because it's already doing lots of little ones. It all feels very controllable and very safe. Just naughty. Alright. Don't know what more you need to know about this really. I might just turn the cameras off and go and have a bit more fun. Right, hopefully some of that made sense amidst all the childish giggling. I'm going to give you a walk around of the Super Duke now. There's not a lot to show you, to be honest, but let's talk about how it looks and the bits and bobs that are on it. Here it is then, the 2021 KTM 1290 Super Duke R. This is a £15,700 motorcycle, although you want to add about 700 quid worth of various packs, get quick shifters, and be able to turn the anti-wheelie off and bits like that. It's quite a handsome thing. I like how they fared in the tail section last year. It just makes it look a lot more complete. You obviously got WP suspension, manually adjustable, and same with the forks. I mean, that's kind of all there is to it. The riding position, as I've said, is really canted forward, which is actually quite nice because you get loads of feel from the front end. I've heard that's a problem they had on previous ones. But yeah, it looks pretty much how it rides. It is aggressive, but it's not actually intimidating to ride at all. I won't waffle on about that now because I've done enough of that in the riding. But yeah, things like preload adjuster, little details. There isn't much of it, but what there is really quite nicely put together. Switch gear is really good. I think I whinged about the pointy indicator switch on the Super Adventure S, but actually here it works, makes more sense. You get a smaller screen than on the new Super Adventures, but that's okay. There's kind of less stuff to learn anyway. One thing I did want to point out about the riding position is the cutouts in the tank work so well for gripping you in corners. So you actually kind of are encouraged to hang off it a bit and ride it a bit like a sports bike. And even at 6'3", they work really well for me. There's the tail light. Right, that's pretty enough waffle about this. I'm going to get back on the road and behave more. See you in a bit. Right, let's bring this to a conclusion. Now I've done the walk around. I have to say, this bike, not only has it blown me away, it's surprised me as well, because I came to it expecting to be a one-trick pony, like, you know, a bit like a muscle car that's very fast in a straight line. Oh, it's lots of fun, lots of wheelies, and that's it. But what's really surprised me is how precise it feels in a way, and how it actually encourages you to attack corners like you're on a sports bike. I didn't expect that. So yeah, you could rock up at a track day or take apart your local B roads at great speed on this without necessarily having to wave the front wheel in the air. It's got a surprisingly broad range of ability, and you know what, it's quite comfortable as well. You could definitely tour on this, stick a tail bag on the back or a rucksack, and off you go. And actually at high speeds, the riding position, as I said, kind of helps take the wind, puts the wind on your chest to hold you up anyway. So yes, it's a bloody amazing bike, to be honest. I'm overall just kind of, I'm in awe of how much fun it is and how much of a dick it makes you ride. Like, I kind of knew that would happen, but it's just I've been surprised by the riding position and how it kind of eggs you into carving corners faster and faster, and obviously on the way out of corners hanging its front wheel out to dry in the air. So yeah, KTM Super Duke, it is a beast, but only when you want it to be, if that makes sense. Now, I didn't expect this bike to give me all the confidence it has given me, to be honest. I didn't expect to be riding it with anti-wheelie off within the first 20 minutes, because I'm no hero, but actually turning that off kind of really does add to the riding experience. It is proper naughty, don't get me wrong. It's just a bit easier to live with than you might have thought. That said, let's talk about some negatives. It is slightly hard work. Like, when you're riding it fast for a long period of time and you've got it in sport mode and you're attacking road, after a while it's a bit like, oh my god, I'm just getting knackered from hanging on to the thing. That's not to say it's like necessarily wild and uncontrollable, but it's quite a physical bike to ride, and it's kind of hard to say why really. It's mostly just how aggressive it is when you've got it in the aggressive modes in terms of the throttle, the torque and everything else. But I kind of like that. I kind of like having to work for my fun, if that makes sense. One slight negative I did just find out is that the steering lock isn't amazing. It's okay, but you do need to slightly think about your U-turns. Yeah, what a thing though, what a thing. Honestly, if you're into biking just for the amusement and for the sheer fun of it and the fact it feels like it should be outlawed, no bike sums that up better than this, to be honest. it's just biblically good fun, and it should be illegal, and half the time you're riding it, it probably is illegal, to be honest. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Please like, please comment, subscribe, and hit that little bell on YouTube down there somewhere, because that'll tell you when I upload more videos. Bye bye. Consumer advice, yeah.